Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Timothy Carter.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast. Today we're going to talk about writing principles to make your content and blog more persuasive. Whether you know it or not, you're a writer. And even if you don't consider yourself a professional SEO writer, think about all the content writing you do on a daily basis. Maybe writing social media messages, sending instant messages to your coworker, texting your friends, emailing your boss, and typing up things like memos, meeting agendas, notes, and even action items. Even pre-planned conversations qualify as kind of writing, since you're developing what you want to talk about in advance. So with all these opportunities for writing basically permeating your work environment, it's a bit of a stretch to claim that writing isn't important to your job or that you aren't a writer in some way. Becoming a better writer means communicating more effectively, earning more respect, and commanding more authority. And the secret to all these is persuasion. So to become more persuasive in your writing, you can call upon these three fundamental principles. Number one, authority and persuasion are invariably linked. Now this one might seem obvious to you, but your ability to persuade a person is directly linked to how authoritative you are seen to be. For example, a police officer who informs you that your back tire is underinflated is more likely to convince you to fill it up than a bratty neighborhood kid who shouts it to you when riding past on a bike. So there are many factors that influence authority, some of which are accumulative, like building a reputation, and are hard to earn in the space of a single written message. Other factors are more immediate and more available for your use when writing a message. For example, consider citing external sources. Verified third-party information goes a long way to strengthen your arguments and your position. For example, if you're writing an email requesting, more flexibility to work from home, cite independent studies that confirm the productivity benefits of work from home opportunities. Be careful not to draw on an association fallacy here, though, but do play up the authoritative strengths of whatever materials you cite. Number two, logical exchanges are always favorable. Our society is built on an idea of mutual social exchange. Our entire economy, even the basic concept of money, is built on the idea of mutually beneficial exchange. You pay $1 for a fast food cheeseburger because you believe it to be worth $1. You pay more for a well-prepared steak because you believe it to be worth more in terms of taste, scarcity, effort, experience, and a host of other factors. If you ask someone to pay $50 for a cheeseburger, you need to convince them that it was a damn good cheeseburger, Of course, this illustration, may seem a bit obvious, but consider it in a more practical, less obvious setting. Say you're asking for a raise, in effect, asking your boss to pay more for the same cheeseburger they're already getting for less. So when crafting your response, you need to understand the importance of mutual exchange and emphasize the points that make it seem valuable or seem like a valuable transaction to, the listener or reader. For example, an argument like I've increased my value over last year with my new certifications and experience, and I'm objectively worth more in other markets, is more persuasive than I really need the extra money to pay off my house, because the former has an objective value for the listener attached to it, You can even use this principle in smaller exchanges like explaining the personal benefits of attending a meeting. And three, people preserve their commitments and beliefs. If you've ever mistakenly gotten into a political or religious debate, you know how impossible it is to separate someone from their committed beliefs, even if those beliefs, in your opinion, are inherently illogical or nonsensical. This is why political and religious discussions are often taboo in workplaces, and sometimes even at family gatherings. People remain true to their previous commitments and belief to an unbearably stubborn degree. We're all guilty of it. Fortunately, you can use your writing to take advantage of this. Instead of contradicting a person's natural beliefs and past commitments, appeal to them. Make your request or suggestion, seem in line with what you know their previous actions to be, or what you know their beliefs to be. For example, you could frame a request for time off like this. You've professed the value of taking breaks in the past, and I totally agree. I'd like to take some time off to decompress and come back with a fresh mind. Instead of saying, I really need to take time off and eliminate some of this stress. In the former phrase, you're holding that listener reader accountable to the previous belief he or she is publicly stated without being obnoxious or confrontational about it. So, becoming a more persuasive writer demands attention, effort, and practice. It's a different way of looking at things. You just can't will yourself to be better overnight. Take these principles to heart and start putting them in your messages and in the messages of others. Tailor your writing to be more persuasive, starting small and work your way to bigger and more powerful uses. Instead of just the messages and text, start writing emails and blog posts. Build on it. And over time, you'll develop that natural ear for the balance, between natural language and persuasive language. And all your messages will start to resonate, with more communicative power and persuasion potential, especially as you start translating it to your website. And I think that's about it for today's episode. So if you want to include, copywriting on your site and you need help, come on over to SEO.co and schedule a time to have a free consultation. You can learn how we can help you scale your ability to outwrite and outrank your competition.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.